Well, what's happening, folks? Been a long time coming, this. Been a lot of demands for this machinery tour. 20k unbelievable subscribers. I never expected this, but very happy it happened. So, much too high demand, I better do this machinery tour. I had a wee look at a few wee machinery tours on YouTube, and I can guarantee you it'll be nothing like the Millennial Farmers machinery tour. He's got some unbelievable kit, like that's just unreal. This is just a Scottish dairy farm, there's no way we're having any of that kind of kit. And you'll probably see as we go around things, this is quite a wet place. It's winter and it's Scotland, so that just generally seems to be the way it goes. So might as well get started. So I'm about to feed the reed, so I'm just going to basically go around the machines when I'm using them. So this video might be over a couple of days, I'm not sure yet. So I'm trying to make it as best as I can, so hope you all enjoy. So hi, I'm about to feed the reed, so might as well start with the 135. Everybody seems to love this thing. Couldn't tell you when Dad bought it, but I know he had one before it, and it had the solid bar axle on the front, and they sold it. I can't remember if it was engine troubles, and then it got exported. She's done about 9,000 hours. Somebody said that the window's hanging in by hopes and dreams, but it's not coming out at all, but aye, she's still there, and I gave her a wee shine up the other day, so she's looking pretty fresh. And the dung spreader on the back, it's a feed wagon conversion. Chain driven floor, 2 sets of beaters at the back, goes down onto a V at the back and it splits it between the 2 sides and the reed, so feed barrier either side, and that falls out. So all the silage gets fired into that box and down them, so works fine, does the job. The 135 is the only thing that can get in that shed, so absolutely perfect for that job. I suppose I could move straight round onto our Manitou Mla 628. Got this machine at an auction in Leeds, I believe it was. Not really sure of the hours. Quite common for the dial inside to, it seems to fade. I'm not sure if there's a wee battery in the back of it or not, but sometimes it decides to work. No, that's the other one. The other one decides to work sometimes, but this one doesn't. But this one bought second hand at an auction, and then we've got the other one, of course. We've had that a long time, but we bought this one a few years back. Makes a huge difference having 2 forklifts on the farm. Dad can be doing one thing and I can be doing another. Really speeds jobs up, especially mucking out, feeding, etc, etc. Jobs go on. When we got it, whoever had it before wasn't very good at greasing the headstock, so we replaced quite a bit. Pin wise, bushes and pins, we replaced a lot of them. And then the headstock wasn't as wriggly after that, and it's been sound ever since, and I don't think there's been any major bothers with this one. Just the usual maintenance, etc. Not too much wrong with it. Great machine. Pivot steer, of course. Very handy for our old sheds, as you'll see in some of our videos. Just good at manoeuvring into tight spaces and that, you know. We can't upgrade to a taller forklift, unfortunately, because shed height is a bother. And of course, when you lose a key in the massey, it's just a flattened nail and bent over. Still plenty of rip and plough about this thing. It'll go for a while longer. Yes. This is why we need the 135. to get into these tight spaces. Into these old sheds. This is my dog Maggie. For those of you that are interested, wee Jack Russell Terrier. Loves the vehicles. Right, this is our Sawdust Dispenser, just about to bed up the coos. Belt driven, wee auger in the middle, agitates it and throws it out either way. Perfect for going up and down the passages. This is our Massey 35. Not really sure of the age yet. She's an old girl. Needing a new exhaust. That's kind of breaking. Just rotten, you know. It's got a wee oil leak underneath there, so it's needing split, and that's sorted in there. It doesn't start too well. You have to cross it with a screwdriver, but that'll be easy sorted. But for now, that's what works. She's usually used on the slurry paddle, as seen here in the back. You put it down in between the slats, and it mixes it up pretty good. Behind that is our bruiser. She's absolutely rapid. 2 massive rollers inside her, 900 kilos each, and takes a fair bit to get her going. You do not want to choke this thing. And then a drain jetter at the back of it. You unroll the pipe at the back and you put it into water, and then the rods unroll through these pipes up the top there. You build them out to the side and you put them down the drains, and yeah, clear them out, jet them. Very good, very handy. Makeshift calf shed as well. This is our high spec slurry tanker. 2 300 gallon, as you can see on the side there. Great machine. Very much required for the slurry. She's on the 220 now because we're shifting slurry around about the farm. So this is a T7 220, 2014 plate. She's got a front P2 on her because we used to use the front mower on her. Kitted out with the LED light bar. And of course, under the bonnet is that massive police siren speaker I can shout at folk with. This one goes on the buck rake at silage time as well, because it's got the 5-ton front lift. I've put a light bar up the top and the back there, and that makes a big difference. This is my plough tractor as well. She could do with a little clean, but it's winter at the moment and everything's always wet, so it's not exactly ideal to be cleaning her, and it just gets dirty in no time again. That's my wee makeshift box. It's just open the lid and then the flap opens up and you put stuff in it. But aye, this was my speakers. Let's see what we can get here. So pretty loud. So aye, 2370, there you are. There's no done that many hours yet. This tractor replaced the T6070 that we had before. She replaced that. So it was a big upgrade, and this one was sat down the road at some dealer for years. I believe we got this tractor around 3-4 years ago actually. So it's quite a big upgrade. I'm about to go feed a bale of haylage with that Manitou. That's the 2008 Manitou. And this Manitou here is the 2009 59 plate, the one we originally had. I've had it 10 years, maybe more, roughly. I think it was almost new when we got it. Not many problems with this one. The biggest problem was last year, this ram split. Was loading up the feed wagon, and loading up the feed wagon, and then when I was bringing the bucket down, bang, big split ram. And I believe I've got a video on it on this, on YouTube. Just didn't have a video of it happening, unfortunately, but it was of the ram split, I do believe. I think it's there, I'm not sure. Definitely have a picture of it somewhere anyway. At the moment there's a bungee, because that's all that can hold the door open. This bit's needing sorted. But that keeps the door round. Keeps it in place rather than it swinging round on you. And then, of course, you get a massive fright when the door comes crashing round on you. But that's basically all there is to that Manitou. Not sure on the hours again. Same thing with the dial. It doesn't really work. Not sure why, but there you go. So this is our feed wagon, one of 4 augers in it, horizontal, 14 cube tar up from Caverland. I don't think they make this one anymore. Actually they don't, otherwise we would have bought another one. So the Deutz Agro Primer. Some yoke works away in this wagon. It's usually on the bed or through the summer, which is just under 100 horse. Pretty basic, but the seat was gubbed, so we swapped it out for a Manitou seat, and it's far comfier now. It's just over 6,000 hours. We got this about 2 years ago. The one I had before had a lot more hours on it and it was a bit more gubbed, but this one is pretty tidy. All the gears are pretty tight, you know, and she works away every day. Fair going offer. Pretty decent like. And of course she could do a wash. She was clean. The windows were very clean, but it was windy. It was the other morning and raining, and all the concentrates when you're filling the wagon. The steward was blowing over the wagon and blowing over the tractor. And that just covers it, unfortunately, and then it sticks because it was wet. Not so ideal. This is our Red Rock block cutter. It's a fair size, like. Don't know just quite why this is happening. That's happened to them 3. We've got spares to go on it now, but just not quite sure why they're breaking. It's no like, I say that, the pit's that well compacted that it's rock hard. But it's a fair size of block cutter you can get. If it's wet here you can get about 900 kilos in it. You know that from putting it in the wagon, of course. But I say 500-600 kilos silage with each block, maybe just more than that. Brilliant. Saves a lot of time having a massive block cutter. Dad prefers the 2 ram ones. He says if you have one with 3 rams it seems to cause bollers with the middle ram. It seems to take most of the pressure. I wouldn't know, I've never used one. This is our second Deutz that we've got. It's a bit weirder than the other one. DX 365. So around 65 horse I reckon. And aye, she's got a loader. We barely use it, but it is handy when I do need it. She came to us with about 150 hours on it. I don't know how many years ago. I was quite young, but aye, 150 hours on it. The tractor was actually bought by Kubota originally, and Kubota took it apart to see how Deutz done theirs. See how Deutz made their tractors. Inside it's all foreign language symbols and that, so just as well we don't need any instructions on how to use it. And then somebody in England bought her for topping their paddocks and then put it up for sale, then we bought it. which is pretty handy. Behind it's our other feed wagon. This is a spare wagon during the summer in case the other one breaks down, but during the winter we put it on the wee tractor, and then we can feed with the two wagons. Basically Dad will be in one and I'll be in the other, and you can get quite a lot done quickly by having the two going. Same again, 4 augers. The augers aren't as good in this one, but it does the job. So the young stock generally get this wagon, and the main lot get the good wagon up the top, because that makes a really good job of the mixing. But yeah, this is a Tdv Tractor. Just over 2,000 hours now on her, so she's getting a good workout now. Next we have our TM140. We've had this tractor since new. That's the last tractor we ever bought from new, 2006 I believe, and she's just coming up for 7,500 hours. A cracking tractor this. She goes in the bed or through the winter just to keep her going, and then during the summer she gets used for bigger jobs, and the 90-100 horse Deutz goes on this. Tremendous tractor that. Wish they continued to make them. And this is just our straw bedder, about to bed up our big cattle shed here and now with it. This is our T7030. Brilliant yoke. She got remapped, so that put about an extra 30 horse onto her, so she became quite lively after that. 2008, she's currently got about 8,800 hours on her. She was putting a load of cattle away this morning to fat, so that's on this big float here, so just ratchet strapped down onto a bale trailer, so perfect. Yeah, some note off this thing, because it's tuned a bit. A wee bit of tune on it before, but it's bloody good now. Brilliant. The only thing I don't like about her is the electric spools. They always have their bollers. I think currently only 2 work, but I might be wrong. But other than that, that's about the only thing I don't like about it. But powerful tractor, love it. This is our low loader. We got it, was it last year or the year before? Very handy for shifting the diggers about. It was actually used earlier to move the wee digger, the wee JCB away to get used on hire, so that was good. Made a big difference, making things easier to shift about once we got this. Not sure of the brand, but I know they do the job. That's all that matters. A couple of pipes are still out, so the reelers would nearly be full if they were all on it. Just taking the weight block off the 220 the new. But this is probably going to be the least used machine in this year, coming with the price of fertiliser going up to hell. But aye, this is a fertilizer spinner. You can put 4 bags of that expensive stuff inside it, then bounce them out. The field's emptying it. That's Father's job. I'll leave that up to him, because he doesn't let me do it. This is our Amazon Sid Drill. We got this last year. We used to use a Rabbi. It was ancient, and this came up, so we bought it. So should do us a good few years. Pretty fresh, no done that much. Aye, very fancy compared to our old one. We kept the old power harrow off it, because it was pretty heavy duty like, so that was bra, so it never really caused any bother, so we kept it. So it's going to be handy for jobs when we're working with the clay stuff. The one pass with this is basically all we need. Power harrow on the front and discs in the back. Heavy duty power harrow on her, and the F550 Nick Baler. I had this quite a number of years now actually, but doesn't really miss a beat, pretty good. An old John Deere baler, I doubt you'll ever see this going, because we don't use wee squares anymore, but she's there if we ever need it. And twin wrap McHale here, so a side arm, so that's quite handy for baling. Well, it's quite handy for wrapping in the fields, and she's rapid with the twin wrap, so love that about her. You can just keep going. So this is our Claas 98 Dominator combine. She's got a brand new spout here last year, and aye, got her about 4 years ago, I think. 13-foot header on her and 14-foot header, something like that, and she works away just fine. Dad put the skirt on the back of it here to try and stop the straw getting blown around. This is our self-propelled chopper. 830, does the job. Dad got her tweaked last year, so she was putting about, can't remember how many more ponies, 30, 60, can't remember just quite. Putting that out, and made a massive difference. It's pretty fresh, like, don't use her too much, you know, just does our job, and we don't do any contracting, so she'll be here for years to come. Brilliant silage time, just being able to go out and do it yourself without having to wait. And aye, can get better quality silage with doing that, I suppose. Aye, this is the machinery shed up the road. It's quite a tight fit to get them in here, but they're better inside. We keep these big machines inside over the winter, and well, keeps them good. But it is a wee bit of a squeeze to get in. You know, time you come in and peek it round, you're very, very close to the wall here. But aye, bro. Then you bury them with the bales and try not let any fall on them. But aye, a few years all have noticed when you looked at this chopper, she's ex-look first. You know, grassmen, and all that. So the crack with that was, they had her basically as a spare apparently. When it came here, it still had paint on the pickup reel. So it done bugger all hours, and she was that small they never used her when the other ones broke down, you know, the big machines. So she didn't really get used an awful lot at all, so, or that seems to have been what the crack was. I'm not really sure entirely, but if I mind right, that was right. But aye, some machine. This is our scraper tractor, the Massey 148. She looks worse than she is. She was getting looked after by me when I was younger. I put 2 new back mud guards on her, and then certain driver, not going to name him, as he might be watching, caught that on, I believe it was this gate here, ripped it, and somebody's been crashing it. Not me, again. Not sure what happened to the bonnet, unfortunately. But she still runs like a dream. She's needing a new gasket in there because it's making a bit of racket. And needing a wee hose down because the boy, when he's liming up, the lad that limes up drives the tractor immediately after and just gets it covered in lime. Slightly annoying, but hey ho. She's got some rip off her though. Let's get her going. There we go. Right, currently 6,600 hours. Here's our old hay bob. Don't use her that much. just at hay time of course, just for spreading, and that's about it. Still works away fine. This is our sprayer, Hardy. She's made in 1995 according to Dad. Does a job. So she's out here, and the last thing it would have went through is antifreeze just to make sure, so we don't have any burst pipes when it comes time to use it, I suppose. This beauty, my favourite, the Cronenberg M1. We got this thing last year. We bought it around about this time I think, and we done it up for silage time. Few problems, few niggles, as you would expect with something that's over 20-year-old. She was imported from Hollands, so she hadn't really seen a hill before. But there was oil leaks, there was this, there was that. All in all, she done really well. Was very pleased with her. She's got a John Deere engine in her. I believe it was around 300 horsepower that we worked it out to. And then the cab is of course the John Deere cab off a combine. That's how they put these together. So an old John Deere combine cab. Makes you sick though. I'd love to get this spotless for when I get my shot in it again. But some machine, absolutely loved it. You know, it's cutting with 3 mowers. When you used the 220, you're only using 2. Thought that was brilliant because it was kind of, I started with 1, but it was shortly after that we got 2, and then when we went back to 1, when one broke down, it was a big problem. You're really slow, but going from 2 to even 3 is mental. This is a brilliant machine. 300 horse, 3 mowers, just simple, just does the job. Brilliant machine. But not without its bollers. But once we figured the niggles out, it was pretty good. There's a pile of solenoids in there, they were a problem. You should see the reek of this thing. But unfortunately I don't think the battery will be full enough to get her cod over. But if you subscribe, you'll see her going. I'll get her going again this year, and hopefully my recording skills have got better and I'll get better footage of her. She ain't no egg, but she's some yolk. We're currently moving a tank with a 70-30. Not dodgy at all. They're a set of Cambridge rollers. They do the job. Quite old though, but they do all we need. Some cracked rings, but we've got new ones to go on it. Our NC dump trailer. Raw machine, we used to put the Komatsu digger in it. That was quite dodgy. Used to roll the ramps out here and then it would climb up in. The axle, the wheel fell off it not that long ago when we were using it. The bearing went and it's gubbed the hub and stuff, so I think it's getting a new axle. It's cheaper than getting the gubbins, so aye, that's to come as well. Our straw waffler, a corner, just basically picks the straw up, throws it up in the air, airs it out, dries it out, which is a necessity here. And 2,000 gallon slurry tanker here. Bought it a wee while back, does the job when you're trying to get 2 tankers going just to really get going. And of course, everyone's favourite, the 70-40. At the moment, she's on a Richard Western 14 tonner. 14 tonner, we were using it to muck out, don't take the silage sides off, extra space, you know. This tractor we bought start of lockdown, you weren't allowed to go and see it, so when it came up, driving it around the yard and just doing jobs with it, you're like, oh, this thing's got a hell of a power, you know, brilliant tractor. And so eventually the mechanic locally to us got a dyno, so Father went away doing it and we put it on it, and then it's That was unreal. So 250 horse before it boosts, and then when it boosts it was 299, but as I said, that'll be 320 at the engine, which is unreal. That this thing is just brilliant, you know. It just doesn't want to gee in. But fortunately to us, we don't have anything that'll make it lie down that much, that'll put that much strain on it, that'll potentially blow it up. So the jobs we're doing it's doing it with ease, like. But aye, some machine. Plenty of recouter. So she's just coming up for 8,000 hours now. Brilliant tractor though. Dad's homemade A-frame for shoving the silage in. It's very handy, just really speeds up the job instead of using a fork. Marshall Bale trailer. It's got a wee extension made on the back. That actually helps a lot because it means you can get that extra bale on the back, which is brilliant. Here's a Fraser trailer, one of two. However, this one just basically permanently remains with the grain door on the back. Silage sides is greedy boards, of course, and this one's used on the long hauls. Rebuilt back door. Great old rickety trailers, but they do the job. And then we've got another Richard Western 14 tonner over there. Compaction's been majorly reduced with these new trailers we've got. Well, new to us, second hand, wider tyres, brilliant trailers. Air brakes, notice a big difference with having the air brakes. This is a wagon that Dad got a couple of years back. We're going to do it up some point, I think very soon, because one of the wagons is starting to really show sightings of wear, so we'll get this one done up. And I'm not sure if we're going to get it reflighted or not, but it'll make it'll do a few years, I would have thought. Looks in very good condition. Our D12 Dung Spreader, Richard Western. This thing's massive on the road, especially. Very wide. Goes in the back of the 7040 usually, because you got to gear a workout, you can. Rear discharge and a slurry door makes a big difference. No stains coming through the back window. Our old one that had no back door, and aye, that was a horrible experience. Put a wee guard up and that helped. An old para plough. It doesn't really get used, but sometimes it does. 2 rotor rake here, the Claas. It's been a really good rake over the years. Just needs a wee shine up. The problem is we don't have a shed for all this, but I'll be fine. A set of chain harrows with no chains. It's good for levelling molehills though. Our John Deere trailed mower. Very good mower this actually. Not sure of the age yet, I was very young. I need to look for the plate actually and look for the plate on her, but this thing's lasted a long time. Had the new bed in it a few years back, so she'll last a long time yet. What are you doing? Homemade front spiker, does just the job. Our Murray buck rake for the front of the 220. There's a fair weight in this, takes a bit of shifting, but really good to have in the pit and like it. But I don't have much experience with other buck rakes, so got none to compare it to. And then a Gray's Bale spiker, held in the air by a tyre, just to make things easier to hitch up. Yeah, I think that's just about me. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. I know it's been a long time coming for a lot of yous. But I hope you all enjoyed that. There's quite a lot to look through there, so I hope this video is not too long, but we'll not find out till I edit, I suppose. So cheers guys, hope you all subscribe, and we'll see you all next time, I suppose. Let me know in the comments what your favourite item was, I suppose. And yeah, thanks for your continued support. See you all soon.